Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Imagine gaining superpowers that make you literally dependent on another person to survive. Today, we're diving into one of Marvel's most fascinating duos, Cloak and Dagger, where darkness and light collide in ways you never expected.
And what makes them so unique is how their powers are completely intertwined. One can't exist without the other.
Let's start at the beginning. When did these characters first appear?
They made their debut in Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man Number 64, back in March 1982. And get this, they weren't even heroes at first.
Wait, what do you mean?
They were actually introduced as vigilantes who were hunting down and killing drug dealers. Spider-Man couldn't even stop them.
That's pretty intense for Marvel Comics in the 80s.
Well, you have to understand the context. This was during Reagan's war on drugs, and anti-drug messaging was everywhere in popular culture.
So how did they get their powers?
They were both runaways who met at a bus terminal in New York. Tyrone Johnson, who becomes Cloak, actually considered robbing Tandy Bowen, who becomes Dagger.
But he didn't?
No, actually the opposite. When someone else tried to rob her, Tyrone stepped in and helped her. They became friends after that.
That's quite a meet-cute for future superheroes.
Unfortunately, things got dark pretty quickly. They were kidnapped by criminals who were testing an experimental drug on runaway teens.
And they survived?
Not only survived, they gained powers. Tyrone became connected to something called the Dark Force Dimension, while Tandy gained the ability to create daggers of light.
Tell me more about these powers.
Cloak can teleport, become intangible, and manipulate darkness. But there's a catch. He has this constant hunger for life energy that could make him dangerous.
That sounds terrifying.
It is, but that's where Dagger comes in. Her light powers can actually satisfy his hunger and keep him stable.
So they're literally dependent on each other?
Exactly. Their relationship goes beyond just being partners. It's essential for their survival.
You know, looking at how these characters were originally written, there are some problematic elements.
Yeah, the original portrayal definitely reflected some racial stereotypes of the time. The black character associated with darkness and dangerous urges, while the white character represented light and hope.
How has that been addressed over time?
Later writers have worked to deconstruct those elements and create more nuanced portrayals. The TV adaptation particularly made significant changes.
What kind of changes?
They actually switched their economic backgrounds. In the show, Tyrone comes from a wealthy family while Tandy is the one struggling to survive.
That's interesting. Did they change the powers too?
The core concept remained, light and darkness, but they reframed it. Tyrone's powers became more about fear versus bravery, while Tandy's were about cynicism versus hope.
You mentioned Ellis Island earlier. What's the connection there?
The creator, Bill Mantlo, came up with the idea after visiting Ellis Island. He was haunted by the fear, misery, and longing he felt there.
That's quite profound for characters who started in a Spider-Man comic.
Marvel has always been good at mixing deeper themes with superhero action. These characters dealt with serious issues like drug abuse, police brutality, and racial injustice.
Have they been successful as characters over time?
They've had a consistent presence for nearly 40 years, though they've struggled to maintain their own series.
But they keep coming back.
Because they're such versatile characters. They've been part of the X-Men, the Avengers, and even crossed over with the Runaways.
Speaking of crossovers, didn't they have one in the TV shows too?
Yes, their show crossed over with Runaways in December 2019. Fans had been asking for it since both shows began.
What makes these characters endure?
I think it's their complexity. They're not just heroes with cool powers. They represent this fascinating dynamic of light and dark, hope and fear.
And their relationship is pretty unique in comics.
Absolutely. Most superhero partnerships are by choice, but Cloak and Dagger literally need each other to survive and stay balanced.
It's almost like a metaphor for human relationships in general.
Right. We all need that balance of light and dark, and sometimes we find it in other people.
Have they always been portrayed as romantic partners?
Their relationship has evolved over time. Sometimes romantic, sometimes platonic, but always deeply connected.
What about their individual backgrounds? What drove them to run away?
Tyrone ran away after witnessing his friend being shot by police when his stutter prevented him from speaking up in time.
That's heartbreaking.
And Tandy ran away because she felt neglected by her mother, a successful model who was more focused on her career and social life.
So they were both looking for connection.
Exactly. And they found it in each other, even before they got their powers.
Let's talk about their impact on the Marvel Universe as a whole.
They've been important players in many major events, working with various teams and tackling serious issues that other heroes might not.
Like what?
Drug trafficking, teen homelessness, corruption. They deal with street-level problems while still having cosmic-level powers.
That's quite a balance to strike.
It is, and it's what makes them unique. They can teleport anywhere, but they choose to help the most vulnerable.
Do you think we'll see more of them in future Marvel projects?
Given their rich history and complex themes, I think they're perfect for modern storytelling. They address issues that are still relevant today.
What would you say is their lasting legacy in comics?
They showed that superhero stories could tackle serious social issues while still being compelling characters in their own right.
And they've evolved with the times.
That's what keeps them relevant. Their core story about finding light in darkness resonates no matter what era they're in.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Sometimes the most powerful partnerships come from the most unlikely places.
And sometimes, like Cloak and Dagger, we find that our differences aren't weaknesses, they're actually our greatest strength.